Now that we've seen the full-blown Layer Properties Manager, you may be wondering if there's a faster way to adjust your layer settings. In fact, there is. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use the Layer Control. The Layer Control is located right here in the Layers panel. First things first, notice that the Layer Control gives us the name of the current layer. Right now, that's Layer Part. So anything I create at this point will be drawn on Layer Part. If I click the flyout, I can see a listing of all of the layers in my drawing. And if I'd like to set a different layer current, I can select the layer name from this menu. As you can see, layer 0 is now the current layer. I'm going to open the Layer Control again, and I'd like to talk about these icons to the left of the layer names. These are the same icons that we see in the Layer Properties Manager, and they reflect the current settings of each layer. Let's say I'd like to make a change. Maybe I'd like to change the color of the Centerlines layer. To do that, I'll click this color swatch, and I am going to select red for my layer color, and I'll click OK. Notice how my geometry changes instantly on screen. Maybe I'd like to make another change. Maybe I'd like to turn my Centerlines layer off. To do that, I'll open the Layer Control, and then I'll come down to the end and I'll click this light bulb. That turns off the layer, and then I'll click on Screen to close the menu. Now, I would like to keep that layer on, so I'm going to open this up again. I'll click this light bulb one more time, and then I'll click on Screen to close the menu. It's important to note that the Layer Control is not a replacement for the Layer Properties Manager. The purpose of the Layer Control is to give us quick access to several of the popular layer settings. If you wanted to create layers, or rename layers, or delete layers, or assign line types and line weights, you'll still have to do that through the Layer Properties Manager. On my screen, I have a drawing that would be considered a mechanical example. And I'm almost finished with this part. In fact, all I have to do is add one more hole right over here. To do that, I'll launch my circle command, and I'm going to create my circle from the center of this arc. Now, AutoCAD's giving me a hard time with that, so I'm going to shift right click, and I'll select center from the menu. This forces a center object snap. And this circle has a radius of 0.25. Now, here's my problem. When I drew that circle, layer 0 was current. So this circle is sitting on the wrong layer. The nice thing is I don't have to erase the circle and start over. Instead, I'll move this circle to the correct layer using the Layer Control. I can do that by selecting the circle. I'll open the Layer Control and I'll select the appropriate layer from the menu. When I'm finished, I'll press Escape. Now that my circle's been corrected, I'm going to copy my center lines down. I'll launch the copy command. I'll select these center lines and right-click, and I'll copy them from the center of this circle to the center of this one. You know, as I look at this drawing, I can see that I have a dimension that's also on the wrong layer. Watch this. If we look at the Layer Control, we can see the current layer is 0. If I select this dimension, AutoCAD will tell me the name of the layer that object is sitting on. Sometimes that information can be handy. I'm going to open up the Layer Control, and I'll place this object on the Dimensions layer. When I'm finished, I'll press Escape. Using the Layer Control is the fastest way to change your layer settings. It's also the perfect tool for setting a current layer or moving an entity from one layer to another.